Welcome back, America. It's been a while since we've had our friend, the chairman of the House Judiciary Committee, Jim Jordan, on the program. Jim, how are you, buddy?
I'm doing fine, and that was some great music you were playing there. That's not your normal bumper music, but that was very good. Very good.
After Thanksgiving, we go all Christmas. Fine. Yeah.
God bless you. God bless you.
You too, brother. You had a hearing, and you're looking at pushing this Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, and I also want to talk about Jack Smith with you also.
Yeah.
I heard Marjorie Taylor Greene say, I'm sick of voting on these things. And yet anti-Semitism is really, it is out there in full bore. Is that one of the reasons you're bringing this up?
Well, it's anti-Semitism and it's anti-Israel, which is, many ways one and the same for these folks who embrace this stuff. But they missed this special bond that exists between, first it's the Judeo-Christian ethic, it's our faith, and it's, the story of America and the story of the modern state of Israel is like, they're just so similar. And it's like, I do not get how people take the position that they take against the state of Israel, against Jewish people. I do not understand it one bit. And we've had the privilege, Polly and I have traveled to Israel 6 different occasions. We were there in February. AIPAC asked us to lead a group we took 10 members and their spouse. Amazing trip. Everyone is. And I always talk about the miracle that is the state of Israel. What happened in 48 and then 67, 73, what happened on October 7th, and this amazing people in this amazing country. And by the way, our best friends, what they've accomplished, I just do not get it. And I'm very nervous, as I know you are, and God bless you for speaking out. But I'm very nervous about this very small, but I think, and maybe growing a smidge on the conservative side of people who take this anti-Israel position. I do not understand it.
One of the things I don't understand, Jim Jordan, is it's clear the history of the United States and the United States itself wouldn't even exist but for the Judeo-Christian belief system. That's the basis of the Declaration of Independence, and of course the Enlightenment. And so when you're attacking that foundation, you're attacking your own country, and you're going to destroy your own country, no?
And the rule of law. It all starts with what God gave Moses, and then you read the Old Testament, you read Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus, Numbers, Deuteronomy, all where they lay out the law, and that's where we get the law that's in Western culture. It is like that's all there, and people who don't realize that. I'm just flabbergasted by people who take the position that they take. But so many things come from that. There's a reason Moses is in the House of Representatives. That is there. It's like that's where it starts. And I know as the great lawyer you are, you appreciate that fundamental fact as well. So yeah, it's frustrating to me. But we just got to make sure that Republicans, frankly, who win these primaries around the country, are conservative Republicans who understand what we're talking about here, who get this Judeo-Christian special bond that exists, making sure we're putting the right guys in those seats, and we'll be all right. But we've got to speak the truth, just like you do every night. And God bless you again, as I said. God bless you for doing that and this issue, but a host of others as well.
No, you're very kind, very kind. Let me ask you this. Conversely, you can see the spread of Islamism and Sharia. You see it in Texas. Governor Abbott was on this program. He says, I'm fighting a tooth and nail. We have communities that are actually trying to institute a Sharia law and apartheid just by having only Muslims live in their community. And this is what's going on throughout France and now throughout Britain and Europe and so forth. Are you concerned about this?
Yes, because it's not like we didn't see it coming. First it's certain countries in the Middle East, then it's Europe, and you see it, all across, unfortunately, across so many places in Western Europe, and now we're seeing it in the United States. And so, yeah, we have to be concerned about that. It's not supposed to be this, two different set of rules, for goodness sake. It's supposed to be one standard, one set of rules, equal treatment under the law, not whatever Sharia law really. I don't even know what it all is, but it's not supposed to work that way. So, yeah, I'm concerned.
Do you agree with President Trump who says, look, People weren't vetted. They're in this country.
Yeah.
We've got a Somalian community in Minnesota, 80,000 people. 90% of them are on some form of welfare. He says there's a whole different mindset. And then he points to others came in Afghanistan, the atrocious, disaster there that took place under Biden, and he said they weren't either. He said, as a matter of fact, we got to go back and look at 19 countries or more where their cultures are not really compatible with ours, just to make sure the people who come in are going to show allegiance to our country. That's the way it used to be. You either going to show allegiance to the United States or you don't get to come in. Yeah,
that's the way it used to be. And of course, part of this, or maybe the main reason for this dynamic we're seeing is when you let 10 million people come in the country, like Joe Biden did, when you say we're not going to have a border, we're not going to vet people like we're supposed to, and then you have that debacle that was called the exit from Afghanistan, and then you don't truly vet those individuals who come here, bad things happen. I mean, this was a centerpiece and central issue in the 24 presidential election, and thank goodness President Trump won and we've secured the border. But yeah, that's what happens when you embrace craziness. I never forget when Sarah Huckabee Sanders gave the response to Joe Biden's State of the Union address, and in response she said, the divide in America today is normal versus crazy. And you can go down all the positions that the left now has embraced on the crazy side. And of course, it's crazy to defund the police. It's crazy not to have a border. It's crazy to say men should compete against women in sports. It's crazy to let Sharia law happen in your country. But those are all positions the left takes, and that is why, we gotta have the. Thank goodness for President Trump and the policies he's brought into play.
Now, Jim Jordan, we're going to hold you after the break. We're going to discuss Jack Smith, some of the things you uncovered when you did your hearing, and more. We'll be right back. We're coming upon the 250th birthday of the United States, and it has me thinking, what will America look like 250 years from now? My friends at the Heritage Foundation want to know what you think. What policies should America prioritize? What principles should carry us into the decades ahead? As America enters a new golden age, Heritage recognizes that this is the time to take stock and to be intentional about how we shape the future of America. And they can't do it without your input. So please go to heritage.org/LEVIN and let them know what you think is important. Without patriots like you stepping up and speaking up for what you believe in, America as we know it can't survive for another 250 years. Please go to heritage.org/Levin, heritage.org/LEVIN. Take the survey on America's future. This survey takes less than 10 minutes to complete, but it is critical for making sure that the America we pass on to future generations is an America we're proud of. Go to heritage.org/Levin today. That's heritage.org/LEVIN. Paid for by the Heritage Foundation. We're here with Jim Jordan, a world-class congressman. But before I get to that, Jim Jordan, you're also a world-class athlete, wrestler. Did you ever tear like a tendon? I'm asking this for a reason.
No, I mean, on my knee, you straighten the ligament in it, but it's sore for a while. But you're back at it. Never really had many major injuries. A little cauliflower ear on my right ear, but nothing too bad. What would you get hurt? Did you injure yourself working out?
A little over a year ago, I tore my 100% tendon on my right, between my right knee and my thigh, a quad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
100%. And the former surgeon for the Redskins, great guy, he stitched it back together. He said he sees a couple of months of that, but not. And I'm no football player. You may have figured that out. So anyway, damn, the PT and everything, I still limp. It's a lot of work to try and get back into regular shape, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It certainly is, and of course, as we get a little older, it's even more work to get back into that.
How do you mentally prepare yourself? Like you had to be willing to go in there and smell the sweat of other guys in a closed room, which is kind of a turnoff. But you know what I mean. You had to fight and do. How do you mentally prepare for this stuff?
Well, I like working out. I work out probably. I definitely average 5 a week, maybe. A lot of weeks, 6 and 7 times a week.
My God.
But back when I was training, it was you're focused on the goal, you're focused on getting ready to compete, and so you got to be ready to go. And I always my attitude was hard work doesn't guarantee success, but it sure improves your chances. So you got to train, you got to lift, wrestle, run, if you're going to be able to compete in, at the high, at least for me in college, at the Big Ten and NCAA level. So that's how I focused on it. But I like working out. I like to sweat. I just like that.
My wife does too. She's a marathon runner.
Oh, I know. She runs like crazy. We've talked. Her and Polly have talked about running, and because Polly was a pretty good track and field athlete back in high school, but yeah, they've talked about that too. So
she runs more than I drive. It's unbelievable. And and they come back and they feel great. And I'm going, oh my God. But anyway, let's get back to this. Jack Smith. Now, this guy acts like he wants to testify in public because he knows that the Democrats run interference and so forth and so on.
Sure.
You think you'll be able to get him in closed doors under oath and really question him about his conduct against members of Congress and so forth?
That is happening next Wednesday, 10 o'clock.
Really?
Closed door deposition under oath. That is happening. We've already deposed 3 of his deputies. We actually referred one of them to the DOJ for prosecution, criminal referral, because he was totally trying to obstruct our investigation. A gentleman named Thomas Wyndham. But we've deposed Bratt. We've deposed Cooney. And we're going to look at some other people who work for him. But Mr. Smith himself is coming in next week. That in a closed door deposition, it's a different format. You get an hour for the Republican side, then you get an hour for Democrat, then back and forth, and you can go all day long. And an hour of questioning with our top lawyers on our staff is different than 5 minutes in a committee hearing. So we're going here for now. That doesn't preclude. We may, in fact, bring him in a public setting, but we want to do this first. And there's a number of lines of questioning that we have. I don't typically talk in public about it, but I will just mention one. I will mention one, though. After Kevin McCarthy becomes Speaker of the House, January of 23, Jack Smith's team subpoenas AT&T for Speaker McCarthy's phone records from 3 years earlier. So they wait until he becomes the top Republican in our government and go get his phone records from November Election Day in 2020 until January 7th, 2021. And understand what they get, Mark. They get the toll record. So they get who you called, who called you, when the call took place, how long the call lasted, and if you initiated the call, they know where you were at when you did so. And they can pattern your life for 2 months. And to add insult to injury, they wait till he's Speaker, they go get those phone records from 3 years earlier, and then they go to the judge and say, AT&T, judge, sign this. We don't want AT&T telling the highest Republican in the government, the Speaker of the House of Representatives, do not tell him that Jack Smith got his phone logs. So that's a line of questioning. I think we got to look. And it wasn't just him, because they did it to me for 2.5 years.
Wow.
So the top Republican on the Judiciary Committee and the top Republican in the government, they go get their phone logs for longer than anybody else. And they did this to countless number of Americans and a bunch of members of the United States Congress.
It's unbelievable. And he should answer for that. I know there are a number of them, especially the senators. He hit a lot of senators. They're furious about what he did. And I'm furious about the cockiness of a guy like this. And by the way, Jim Jordan, what exactly was the potential crime he was looking into? There wasn't any. What's the crime?
It's politics. They tried to say there was this grand conspiracy led by the President of the United States. It was but here's the other thing. Think about this, Mark. You're one of the sharpest legal minds ever. So think about what they said on the subpoena for my phone records. They say to Verizon and they say to the judge, well, the reason we need you to sign this gag order, this non-disclosure order, the reason we need that is because Jim Jordan might be a flight risk. He might tamper with evidence. I'm like, I fly back home to Ohio. I'm not a flight. Like, this is the kind of stuff that's just like, you're like, what are they talking about?
Well, are you going to be able to get his phone records and stuff to see if he was coordinating with anyone at the White House or somebody like that?
Oh, there's a number of lines of questioning we have along there, but we're getting records from DOJ, FBI, the National Archives, the Inspector General, the United States Postal Service. We've requested information, in some cases subpoenaed information from banks, because he went to banks to get records on Republicans, not just members of Congress, just American citizens who are Republican. So we're doing all that, bringing that information in, all in anticipation of this deposition that takes place next Wednesday.
You know, I have to get Loudermilk back, because I told you they got 13 of my private emails, which were benign. absolutely benign. I'm happy to make them public, and on my decision. How the hell did they get these damn things? And I want to know who did it, because I'm going to sue them.
Well, I assume they got it from, I don't know who you emailed in those 13, but they probably got it from them.
No, I don't think so.
Would be my guess.
It may be.
Oh, okay.
No, you might be right. You might be right.
Yeah.
I would just like to know.
Sure. I mean,
and I remember the lawyer comes to me and says they have 13 of your emails. I said, okay, what the hell are they? He shows me. He said they may call you to testify. I said, on my best day, I'll kick their ass. That's perfectly fine by me, because I didn't do anything. So let's do it.
Yeah.
But they never called me.
Yeah. So I know they got one of my text messages, but they didn't get it from my phone. They got it to when I text our friend and former White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows, and they put it up and they altered it. We made a big deal of this, and they had to apologize. This was the January 6th committee. This wasn't Jack Smith, but the January 6th committee got one of those. Used it in a hearing, altered the text, and said they attributed it to me when it wasn't. I just forwarded a text to Mark that I got from a lawyer here in town who worked at a big law firm, worked at Patton Boggs. So, I mean, that's how political January 6th operation was, and in my judgment, how political Jack Smith's operation was.
Mm-hmm. All right, my friend. Thank you for everything you do. You're fantastic. We really appreciate you.
Well, thanks for all your good work.
Have a great Christmas. You too. God bless.